right. Good afternoon, folks, and good evening, good morning, depending on where you are. I'm so excited for this beautiful edition, and we definitely have stuff to talk about that can simply enhance our lives. This channel is dedicated to changing lives, connecting with God, and sometimes we really share a little bit of hobbies and showbiz and stuff like that. So if you really love what we are sharing, you can go down and subscribe, and of course you can also share this with somebody else. Right now I have this whole thing that I think we got to talk about, and this goes out to everybody, and especially people that are struggling in life. So many questions that have been drawn in your mindset, and you're asking exactly how you can figure it out. Sometimes it's really hard. Today we simply just want to talk about a poor mindset, and then we try to look at some of symptoms or signs of a poor mindset. But before we can get into that, let's try to ask ourselves, what is poverty, or what is a poor mindset? Poverty is simply lack. Let me not try to get into hard, terms and terminologies. Not try to confuse you, but simply it's lack in any area of your life. It can be spiritual, it can be mental, it can be physical, it can be marital, it can be financial. It is, most of us people limit poverty to the financial, but poverty is quite diverse. Yeah. So without any further ado, let me dive into some of the signs. Of course, there are lots and lots of symptoms and signs of a poor mindset. But today I just want to concentrate on what I think are the 6 major ones, and we try to digest each and every one of them and see how we can, enhance this, or how we can change. Starting off, we're going to talk about self-centeredness. That's one of the first ever things that you can get to know that this person is definitely suffering from a poor mindset. Any person in life that is so much focused on himself and is limiting everything. These are the people that we have observed, we've experienced in our lives, we've heard all over the news. People that are diverting funds that are supposed to be used for public services, and they're using them for their personal benefits. You're using your office in a wrong way. You're using money in a wrong way, facilities in a wrong way to satisfy your own, motives. It shows how poor you are. You think that probably because you've been put in that office, you have the right to do whatever you have to do in life with that office. After all, you've been put there. So whatever comes to you, it's always about first you yourself. You don't consider about the people that you're taking, or the people that you're leading. You're never in the office. You never equally distribute the funds. You never take care of the needs of the people. You always front your needs first. That is wrong, and that is the first ever a sign of a poor mindset. Moving on to the second one, we're definitely going to talk about insecurities. A poor mindset is always insecure. That's how you can get to know that this person is actually suffering from the poverty of the mind. It is okay for everybody to be broke, because everybody in life has ever been broke. At a certain time in life, we all get broke. Whether financially or physically or mentally, we lack somewhere in life. But you do not let this poverty or this lack get to your mind. Okay, this is what I'm trying to let you know. So, insecurities is so predominant when it comes to a poor mindset. They always think about not having enough tomorrow. They think they will not have enough tomorrow. Sometimes they go to an extent of limiting things. They don't use it, and they don't let anybody else use it. They just have to look at it as it's a decoration, some kind of a flower, some kind of a thing that you can put somewhere and you simply just look on. We've heard of stories, speculations of African politicians, leaders, and people of influence in the governments of Africa that always keep money for themselves. They can't keep it in the banks because they will be followed up, they will be asked. So they resort to keep it in their rooms, private rooms. At home, you find a person has a private room somewhere in his mansion where he keeps that money, that sometimes he has to call people to come and fumigate this. You know what I'm trying to say? Fumigate money, like in cash, paper money. They just can't use it, but they just don't want to put it in circulation or to help someone outside there. So that's how a poor mindset is. Greed. Yeah, they're greedy. They're greedy. They just can't have enough. They always crave even for what they cannot use. So that's what a poor mindset is made of. I'm not going to be so much expounding on everything because I may not have enough time, but let me try to share let me try to share the six signs and just try to dissect every single one of them. Anyway, moving on to the third one, which is also another sign of a poor mindset or poverty of a mindset, is disbelief. Disbelief. It's also so much common in people that have poor mindset. They always think that if probably they try to do something, maybe they will go back to the life they once lived in. They so much don't believe in themselves and they don't believe in others. This thing is so very contagious and it's hereditary. Like, it can be inherited. You can get it from your fathers, you can get it from your family, you can get it from anybody. It's so very inherited and so very contagious. So you have to be very careful with the people you hang around with, because they don't stop on disbelieving in themselves, but they push this even to the people around them. You tell them, you share with them something about your future, about how you see yourself and what are the things that you want to achieve in life, and they would, from nowhere, they will start to discourage you. So this is it. They don't believe in themselves, and neither do they believe in anybody else. So you have to be careful with the people like this one, because they will not take you anywhere, and they are also not going anywhere. So it is really so bad. And if you were not believing in yourself, you really have to check yourself first, because before you know it, you might be having this problem, poverty of the mind, which I think is so much affecting Africa. There is nothing in Africa that is affecting us like the poverty of the mindset. Because even the Western world that you fancy a lot, that you want to live a life they are living, they just reformed. They're sometimes poor. Their economies sometimes are their economies are drowning sometimes. Sometimes they go on to loans. They go for loans from World Bank and from different countries just to sustain their economy. They go through this, recess. You've heard of so many recesses around the world. They experience this. But the only thing is that they know how to think right. Remember there is a saying that goes, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. A heart is like your mind. So the way you think in your mind, that's how you're going to turn out to be. If you think you lack, definitely that's how you will lack. And you even make decisions depending on your mentality. You will make them everything depending on your mentality. So this is so important to consider. Anyway, let's get to the fourth point. The fourth point is low self-esteem, which is so obvious. It's very hard to find someone who has a poor mindset and he got esteem. They always think, okay, I'm not worthy to say something. They cannot speak in public. They can't share their views. They don't know if they are worthy. They don't know if they'll be taken serious. They always have this what if. What if I say and they bully me? What if I do this and this happens? What if? It's always about what if. So as an end result, even when they had something that holds water, they will not share it with the public, with the people around them, and they're not helping at all because of their low self-esteem, thinking that they will be bullied, they'll be underrated, and all kinds of terminologies that you can use on this one. So it's really so bad, because low self-esteem, apart from also being just having a poverty mindset, it's also not good in anywhere in society. I'm not saying that somebody should be arrogant, but if you understand what it means to have self-esteem, it is something that is being taught in schools, everywhere, in seminars, in so many studies. They talk about low self-esteem. So if you have low self-esteem, sometimes you need to check, because there must be something that is causing it. You have to check in that as well. Remember when I talk about the poverty of a mindset or a poor mindset, I don't only relate with financial life. I relate with all the aspects of life: financial, mental, spiritual, physical, social, and every other aspect that you can think of. So it is too paramount to consider. The other fifth, which happens to be the second last on our list, but not the least, of course, is definitely they always think of supernatural powers. A person who has a low self-esteem, they always think about supernatural powers. They either believe in miracles from God, probably things are just gonna drop from out of blue and happen, or they will consult their ancestors. That is, they will get involved in witchcraft, sorcery, incantations, enchantments, a lot of things. They will just get involved in all these things because they're looking for that mystery answer. They're looking for that mysterious answer. I don't know if you're getting me. So as an end result, they think they don't have the capacity to do it. And it happens. It can only happen when some supernatural somewhere has to be done. They don't think in normal things. They think nothing good can come out of something normal. So for them, anything good has to come with a power behind it. So they will end up, tagging people names. That's why you hear of so many conspiracy theories like Illuminati.